Sorry, didn't see you there. Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about what could be one of the best films of 2024. Yes, that is Transformers 1, directed by Josh Cooley. And well, this film follows Optimus Prime and Megatron before they are who they are. In truth, it's about Orion Pax, D16, and the journey they embark that splits their friendship, turning them into the lifelong enemies that we know them as today. How adorable. Holy shit, was this film amazing. But I have to be honest though, if you listen to the podcast, by the way, if you haven't listened to the podcast, go do yourself a favor and subscribe to The Usual Rejects on YouTube, because we talk about film and TV news every single week. But when the first trailer released, I was not all that ecstatic. Actually, I didn't really like it at all. So I, like many other fans, have been asking for a war for Cybertron, Shakespearean style drama that follows Optimus Prime and Megatron, obviously when they were first friends and how they fell out. But instead, we just got childish humor, some very odd designs, and cringeworthy dialogue. Let's be honest, that first trailer was just not good. And so when I went to this film, my expectations were not all that high. This is not a good thing, and it sucks because I'm a long-term fan. I mean, look, I got stuff over there in the back. But yeah, so I was very hesitant to go and see it. But fuck me, am I an idiot? Because this film truly did blow me away. From a beautifully dramatic score to the gorgeous animation and visual style, to a story full of optimism, tragedy, and growing up, surprisingly. First things first, I do have to give props to the cast. So with animation, obviously, the voice is incredibly important. You have to nail the feeling, the vibe, whatever, right? And a lot of modern animated movies just take mainstream celebrities and throw them into these movies because they want people to get in seats. The issue with that is you end up with the Super Mario movie. But this film excelled for the most part, right? I think Brian Tyree Henry and Chris Hemsworth give an amazing performance as D16 and Orion Pax. They really do capture the essence of what Megatron and Optimus Prime are without sounding like them. Like, they clearly sound like a way younger version of them that lacks so much experience, that hasn't gone through the wars that they've gone through and hasn't fought the battles that they have. Obviously, this works for this interpretation of the story, right? It works for the film. Also, bro, Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion, that shit is hard. I don't know what anybody says, bro. I need a prequel to this prequel. I need an Alpha Trion movie that just is about him, bro, because that is fucking flames. The most senior voice actor here has definitely got to be ScarJo. She's got a great voice either way, and so her voice acting in general is actually really good, and I really enjoyed her for what she was in this. But I think where it really dropped the ball was with B and Starscream. With B, Michael Keegan Key just wasn't the voice. I gotta be honest. Like, he's not Bumblebee. That fool's supposed to be like a child in the movie. He sounds like a fucking 50-year-old man. I'm gonna be honest, right? It just didn't work for me. With Starscream, on the other hand, Steve Buscemi, I think it could have worked if he had more screen time, because he's in this movie for a grand total of maybe like a minute. I don't know. He has like one really cool scene, and then his voice gets messed up, and it sounds like more of a classic Starscream voice, and I'm like, okay, this works, and then you never hear him again. So it just felt kind of wasted to me. But speaking of screen time, this film is beautiful to look at. The animation is so beautiful on the big screen. God, there's always something to look at. Your favorite character is in this movie somewhere, I don't know where. Check the background, dude, because every frame I was looking everywhere, because there's so much attention to detail in this movie. It really reminded me of like the early Bay films, in which you could feel where every part of the robots' bodies were going, and you can see like everything had a purpose, and it's just such a complex, machinery that works so well and looks so cool in both those films and here too. And of course, dude, the score. Oh my god, bro, I don't know what type of shit they were smoking in the studio, but they were going in, bro. This film has some of the best music in all Transformers media, which is a high bar, because if you've listened to Transformers music, that shit is fire already. It was very reminiscent of the Bay films mixed in with Transformers Prime, and I felt that. As a Transformers Prime fan, I felt that in this film. It's dramatic, eerie, motivating, bittersweet, and it makes you feel like you're Space Jesus. Like you know how Optimus Prime gives a speech at the end of every film? Like, you throw one of those scores in the bag and suddenly you can do that too. Above all else, what this film does best is the characters. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I love Transformers. I have grown up on Transformers my whole life. I've been with the franchise ever since I can remember being alive. Like, I would watch G1 reruns on TV when I was little. I remember watching Transformers Cybertron at midnight. I know you do too. Everybody has that shared experience. And I remember going to Burger King to get toys from Revenge of the Fallen. It was a time to be alive, right? I mean, it still is a time to be alive. We're talking about it now. But as a longtime fan, I've always wanted to see that fallout between Optimus Prime and Megatron really go into detail. We see it obviously in a bunch of shows and movies, but it's never to the extent of this. And it's so great to finally have that story and see what led them to be the way they are. There's this really interesting scene in Transformers Prime where the characters are basically complaining about how Optimus Prime has a stick up his ass the whole show, right? And Ratchet, who is also known to have a stick up his ass, kind of like levels with them, and he goes, well, Optimus wasn't always like this. Before the war, he was different. And it's just a very quick line, and it makes you think, like, and you can see it in this film because Optimus Prime is obviously one of the most selfless beings we know. You know, all he cares about is freedom for all and things like that. But in this, kind of a little selfish. I mean, but then again, he's also young, he's naive, he's just trying to have fun. It's so weird seeing that version of the character compared to this version of the character. And because of that, the dynamic he has with D16 just makes the breakup, for lack of better words, that just much worse and that much sadder, I guess. I think a clear example of this is there's this scene early in the film where Orion gives D16 a sticker of Megatronus, who is like his idol, right? And it's nice until you realize where they'll end up, because they were literally brothers. Like, this is like you and your best friend, right? But where everything changed for them was obviously when life got in the way, when they had to make a decision that would impact the future, is when they realized where their loyalties truly lie. Because at the very end of the film, Megatron basically kills Orion Pax, right? Orion is about to fall, Megatron's holding him, and there's a moment of hesitation when he's holding him where he has to decide, it's either I save you and we do this together, or I choose my own philosophy. And what does he do? He lets go and he chooses his philosophy. And it's that moment that really dictates who they are as characters and where their loyalties lie. And it's this evolution that the film really excelled in showing the progress of how those ideals change and where they are in terms of their mindset. Whew, that was kind of deep. But on the other hand, the runtime's a little fast. I just talked about how, like, evolution and all that, but in reality, this whole film takes place in like the span of like maybe a day. So, like, damn, like they were moving like this. But all in all, that was Transformers 1. Like I said, this film blew me away. If you're a new Transformers film, you're gonna love this film. And if you're a long-term Transformers fan, you're gonna love this film. Honestly, I'm so glad I doubted this film, because since my expectations were so low, dude, my theater experience was fucking phenomenal. I had the best time of my life watching this film. What was up with that first trailer though? But yes, I highly recommend you check this film out. If there's no way you can live without having watched this film, especially as a Transformers fan. If you're worried about the humor, about the tone, the animation, there's nothing to worry about. And if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys thought about this film, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, or if it broke your heart and you hate this film and you actually are no longer a Transformers fan. But as per usual, thank you, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch me talk about Space Jesus. God, I love Space Jesus so much. But until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.